Oh my God, guys, can't you believe that 2025 was the year that LinkedIn disappeared?
Agentic AI has really been pushed into the enterprise sector, and that is where we've seen a really big uptake.
I'm loving this, guys. I'm loving this on-air conversation, and we're figuring out how right I am. Am I slightly right or am I very right?
Can I just say, it has been an incredible year in terms of how things have changed in the social and tech space.
Hello and welcome to episode 103 of Disconnected. I'm your host, Jag Sharma, based out of Hong Kong, joined by my co-hosts Jen Campbell, who's also in Hong Kong, and the man living the modern British dream of living in Dubai, Jason Kapadia. And together, we'll be delving into the world of AI, tech, and social media, and how it's impacting society and culture. Coming up, it's that time of year again, where we look back to the predictions we made in January and seeing if our digital DeLoreans brought us back to the future that we predicted correctly. 11 months ago, episode 83, me, Jen and Jason completed our January tradition of predicting what's coming for the year ahead in tech, AI, and social media. Today, we will review those predictions to see that when it comes to tech foresight in 2025, who was more Nostradamus and who was more Nostradamus. I hold the crown from the previous year with the most accurate predictions, but will I hold on to the crown for another year? Let's find out. Guys, it's that time of year again. The festive decorations are up, which can only mean one thing. It's prediction scorecard season. Do you fancy your chances?
Yeah, totally. I think Jason and I are definitely going to win because we've created our own scoring system. We'll explain it to you as we go. No worries.
I look forward to that, Jen. I'm sure the scorecard will be fair and balanced. Right, let's get into it, guys, and let's do it in the order that we did the predictions back on episode 83. So I'll go first. And my first prediction back in January was that TikTok influencers will spread their risk and look to build out on other platforms. Now, back in January, this was a prediction made because at the time, if you recall, the future of TikTok in certain countries, particularly in the US, was hanging by a thread. Fast forward to today, and TikTok in the US has been mostly sold off to local US interests. And so the app remains alive in the US. And you know what, guys? Unsurprisingly, my prediction has come true. Many of the top influencers are either leaving TikTok or at least putting a lot less emphasis on their TikTok efforts in favor of other channels. For example, Campbell, the famous influencer who does those videos where he's showing what's going wrong with what people are doing online and kind of makes fun of it in his way without using any words. He is diversifying away from TikTok. He is still doing those hilarious videos, but not as much as he was. He's now transitioned over to YouTube to expand his reach and also putting a lot more focus on Instagram. And it's not just him. Charli D'Amelio skyrocketed to fame on TikTok with her viral dance routines. Over 157 million followers on TikTok, yet she has shifted her focus to YouTube and to podcasting. So those are the top two influencers right out the bat on TikTok have moved away from the platform and put their influence elsewhere. There's other influencers as well that have left for other platforms. Josh Richards was a key figure, key influencer in the marketing space, known for his entrepreneurial ventures and comedic content on TikTok with 25 million followers on the platform. He's also moved away. He's moved away, you guessed it, to YouTube, to podcasting, and to Triller. Need I go on, guys? Need I go on? There are many more examples if you'd like me to reel this off, but can we just check the box on this, say that I achieved it, and move along?
No. I'll just pull you back on a couple of those things. What was your prediction again?
Let's find the term I wrote for legal defense here. So TikTok influencers will spread their risk to build out on other platforms.
Okay, because what you've just said is they've moved away from. And if I look at Cabby Lame as your first example, definitely still using TikTok as the main platform, using other platforms as an aside. So yes, maybe has spread, but I would argue still primarily a TikToker.
I think I misspoke on episode 103, because on episode 83, when we predicted, my actual prediction was TikTok influencers will spread their risk and build out on other platforms. And I'm citing an article from August. So yes, when I say move away, I'm being dramatic. They're certainly putting less preference to TikTok. We can debate whether Cabby Lame is still, more focused on TikTok than YouTube, but he's definitely spread out. Check him out on YouTube.
It's interesting that you didn't submit this facts to us before this meeting so that I could check when she started her podcast and when they moved to YouTube. Anyway, I think you're right. Obviously, the creators are moving across other platforms. I think when you told us this prediction, we all agreed it was likely to happen. So maybe we'll take a few points as well, Jace, right? Like we did agree. We thought it was an obvious one. 10 points for us, 5 points for Jag.
No, Jag, you're actually pretty right in this one because, it's not just the monthly active users that have declined slightly on TikTok, but they're saying that ad spend as well is down up to 30% in the earlier quarters of this year on TikTok. So it did seem like there was a big, at least something that really scared the creators. And yeah, they probably have in all, diversified their risk, especially if they were chasing the ad bucks, which it looks like most people were, because they said 8 out of 10 US ad categories cut TikTok spend by up to 30% in Q1, compared to 20 to 40% of top earners transferring audiences to YouTube. So seems like you were relatively right there, but
I'm not going to gloat. I'm going to add value and make an additional point as to a reason why this might be, or a contributing reason. YouTube Shorts, so many businesses now are posting content to YouTube Shorts because it feeds advantageously into Google search. And even though I recognize search is taking a growing hit from AI search, Google also have their own AI tools. They have Gemini, etc. So the bigger bet perhaps is build out on YouTube Shorts, appear in Google search today, which may inform Google AI search tomorrow. That's what TikTok's going up against, and Google is flexing its muscles to help YouTube there. Anyway, wonderful. So full marks for me on that one. Why don't we move on to Jen? Jen's first prediction: the rise of China social platforms.
So I will go back and caveat exactly what I said on episode 83, in that I think I get a bit confused between predictions and things that I would like to see happening. And so this first one was very much about how there are lots of platforms within China that have multiple uses and more functionality than a lot of the platforms you see in the West. And I think at the time, Little Red Book was coming up. People were trying to move away from TikTok because of all the issues they were having in the US. So I did a bit of research, and as statistics would have it, 21% of users of Little Red Book are outside of China. So if we're going to take it at face value, correct that actually the use of it has gone up outside of China in the last year. But having said that, the majority of those people are in Malaysia or Chinese speakers in Australia and other locations. So it hasn't taken off. I didn't get this one right. I suggest we move on relatively swiftly.
No, let's not move on swiftly. Let's let's sit on this for a while.
Wallow in my defeat. Thanks.
Do you know what I love about your predictions, and it's great that you say that what you want to happen. You're probably doing it in really in the spirit of how you want to see the internet go. I think there was early indication that this could be a thing, and you know what, it could still be a thing. So maybe we'll come back to it in the future, and who knows, 6 months from now you might be like, that prediction I made a year and a half ago, it's now happening.
And if that happens, we're having a whole episode dedicated to the fact that I was right.
We can potentially do that, but for the sake of scoring, for now, nil point. Yes. Okay. Let's move on. And you know what? Let's come back to me. And my second prediction way back on episode 83 was that social media access will be more restricted by the end of the year, December 2025, compared to the beginning of the year, January 2025. Well, we've all seen the news recently that social media is getting banned for under 16s in Australia. And the news just a couple of days ago from the BBC, and I love this story, an influencer family in Australia. So, you know, we've all seen them, these influencer families that the parents try and be cool, and then they push their kids forward and film them as well and make them stars at a young age. So an influencer family in Australia is moving to the UK because they do not want their children to face the social media ban, and they want their children who are under 16 to be able to continue posting and being an influencer and doing good in the world like all influencers do. So, is social media access more restricted in December 2025 than it is at the beginning of the year? Yeah, it is. It is, guys. So, I did it. 10 out of 10. Congratulate me again, please, Jen. Shower me with appreciation.
Okay. A few caveats on this. A, the restrictions in Australia were already being talked about at the end of last year. And I think you even referenced it in episode 83 to say they're starting to talk about it. B, there's been an awful lot of talk about it, but can you name me what restrictions are actually in place by the end of 2025? Oh, I can hear the tumbleweeds.
It's a good point. One thing, and I guess you know the answer because you've asked this to me, I forget the date that this whole Australia ban is coming into effect. And unless I Google now on air, I think you're actually Googling, Jen. So maybe, yes, you might be able to. Because
I was there in October and it had been delayed. Oh, look at this. It's going to take effect on December the 10th. When does this episode go out?
This episode goes out on the 10th of December. Amazing. Yeah, it goes out on Wednesday, the 10th of December. Yeah.
So, okay, Dan, you can cut that bit. So
No, don't cut it, Dan. No, producer Dan. No, it's okay.
No. We're going back. We are going back.
We don't need to filter.
And what we're going to say is, I think the Australia ban was already being talked about at the end of last year when you brought up this prediction. And if I'm right in saying, at time of recording, that restriction still isn't in place yet. So there has been a lot of talk about it. And I think the conversation between the three of us that Jason and I both said was, how are they going to verify the ages and how are they going to implement these restrictions? Yes, everybody wants to do it, but it's going to be very difficult to implement. And thus far, nobody has implemented. So I think correct in terms of the sentiment, wrong in terms of execution.
Jag, just one thing that might save you here is I read that Malaysia was putting in an under 16 ban, I think effective from November, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me Google this.
I'm loving this, guys. I'm loving this on-air conversation, and we're figuring out if how right I am. Am I slightly right or am I very right?
Reuters tells me starting from 2026.
Okay.
They announced it in November, but it won't kick in until 2026.
Oh, is this the Malaysia ban?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the point is, guys, as of recording versus going live date, if the going live date matches the date that the plan for the Australia ban is coming in.
No. Their plan was to launch it in September. It got pushed back to October. It's now been pushed back to December.
Yes.
If by the time we record this and it goes out on the 10th of December, I put money on the fact it's been rolled back to the beginning of next year.
Well, we don't know that right now.
But we don't know that it will.
Okay, I've just asked my favorite person in the whole world's tool, Grok, and according to that, there have been 8 US states that have passed minor social media bans or consent requirements in 2025. And one that's going to save you, Jag, is the Georgia protecting Georgia's Children on Social Media Act, effective July the 1st, 2025.
Jason, what
which
is wrong
mandates
with you?
This is why I love Jason. You know, Jason sent a nice little Jason sent a nice little message to me on WhatsApp before this recording, and he's helping me find the truth. That's what I like about Jason. You always dig the truth.
Jason, get yourself over to Truth Social. You'll have a lovely time.
So yeah, I'll take the Georgia ban, and I'll take the Australia ban, and I'll take the Malaysia ban.
I do think the prediction was countries, though. Sorry to go back on a technicality.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, there we go.
Most Americans probably think Georgia is a country, so we're fine with this. I've definitely got it right, but how right? We can debate that at the end when we mark me up or mark me down. But let's move on. And do you know what, Jace? It's high time we hear a prediction from you, how well you did.
Yeah, so my prediction was about agentic AI and how it's going to hit the mainstream. And I gave a couple of examples of potentially how it could be rolled out into mainstream services like Amazon and Skyscanner. However, those examples were terrible examples because they were consumer facing, and what actually transpired was agentic AI has really been pushed into the enterprise sector, and that is where we've seen a really big uptake, with some articles saying that, you know, up to 23% of organizations are deploying agentic systems and 39% of them are piloting them. So I would say I was kind of right there, but my examples were pretty bad. So
it's a tough one for me, Jace, because I can't disagree with you. Agentic AI is rapidly moving into the mainstream for enterprise use. However, is enterprise use mainstream? That's the kind of the kicker for me. But you were kind to me on the previous one where, I don't know, Jen's got it out for me for some reason. Maybe I didn't send her a Christmas card.
I just like the truth to prevail, actually, as it goes.
That's Jason's space.
Oh, I'd pick something else. I just hate you.
But what do you think, Jen? Do you think agentic AI is mainstream?
I will struggle with what is agentic AI and what is not. So within my workspace, we use a lot of Copilot that does a lot of things for me. So I can go to meetings, it sends me an email with a meeting summary. It sends me summaries of documents that I have, that I use. I've used it to go through all my emails and summarize key things that I need to do. So it gives me timelines and deadlines and things I need to do. So there are elements of AI that I'm using on a semi-agentic, I guess, use case.
That's at work. So that's enterprise level, you know.
I know, but I think even at the enterprise level, like it is on a day-to-day basis and not a top-level company trying to roll out something, you know, like it does seem to have moved much quicker than I have moved into a bigger organization than I was in previously. But yeah, unfortunately, it hasn't hit the sky scanners of the world as we predicted.
Not we, he.
Jason and I are a team. We're going to talk about whether we're playing on the same team, but Jason and I are a team.
Let's just wait till the scoring.
Maybe half marks. Maybe half marks for Jason because it's almost there. But
so
not
I have
quite
an interesting
there.
question on that, Jason. Do you think it will happen next year? Do you think it's still coming along that way, or do you think it's not a use case people think is a priority?
I still think the consumer-facing applications will probably be towards the end of 2026 or even 2027, because I just think that it's still a ways away, and I think that more of the useful agentic AI is going to be like in the examples that you were talking about in terms of an enterprise, but just much more proactive stuff that's like coming to you with notifications saying, hey, like without you having to ask, it's like being your helpful assistant, and that's really where it's going to shine at least for the next 6 to 8 months. I would say.
All right. Thank you, Jace. So yeah, it's you know what? A for effort, but it's probably half marks, but let's see at the end. Do you know what? Let's move on. And why don't we come back to you, Jen? I love your predictions. I love your spirit.
Oh my God, guys, can't you believe that 2025 was the year that LinkedIn disappeared? I'm so impressed. Yeah, I was totally right. Nobody uses LinkedIn anymore, certainly not the 1.25 billion people that are signed up to it. My prediction was that my hope was that another platform would prevail that was actually going to be used for networking. I think at the time, we were looking at LinkedIn had created all these games and it was encouraging more and more people to come back and play on a daily basis. And is that really what the platform is for? I will tell you, I can't find any statistics that say those games are being successful, and I'm yet to find anybody who plays them. But yeah, sadly, the user base of LinkedIn continues to grow. And, video is becoming more of the content that is being used. So there are stats that say, video content gets 5 times more engagement. So they are pushing it in their algorithms and they are doing things to keep people in platform. Sadly, we're going to have to live with another year of people posting how somebody winning a rowing race is the same as running a company. Sad times.
Jen, I don't think you're totally wrong, though, because even though the user numbers of LinkedIn hit 1.2 billion, there's stats showing that organic performance is tanking. Like post reach fell 47 to 50% since early 2025, and engagement has apparently dropped around 25%, and follower growth has slowed because they've actually switched their algorithms up slightly to prioritize, what did they say? It was deeper engagement, I guess, over volume. So yeah, so you're not totally wrong.
Well, see, I also, and I don't know why I'm not backing myself on this, but I also saw those stats. I don't think that's necessarily people using the platform less. I think it's an algorithm change that's prioritizing certain types of content, sadly.
It was interesting when I was listening back to episode 83, and I was really agreeing with you, Jen, on the state of LinkedIn. And, I was willing this with you. It'd be great to have an alternative. Fast forward 11 months. And where are we now? We've got our own LinkedIn influencer is now part of the podcast, Matt Webster. And I've started posting more on LinkedIn and I've been testing with video. So it's like, okay, we're stuck with it. I don't know if an alternative is going to come along anytime soon.
One of the things that is interesting to me is that the main demographic on LinkedIn is 25 to 34-year-olds, and I very firmly now fall out of that demographic. So maybe my prediction is more a case of I'm not actually in the right audience for LinkedIn anymore, and maybe the young folk find it really fun. Don't know.
And apparently there is this other platform, I don't know if you've used Job Case. Apparently it's supposed to have a lot of users moving to it, and it's because it's got a bit more of a defined use case from business rather than what LinkedIn has come to. So potentially there is some migration coming across.
Okay, it's worth checking out. Job Case. Yeah, maybe there is hope on the horizon. And those 25 to 34-year-olds, Jen, sound like recruiters to me. Sound like
fair
recruiters.
enough. Yeah, that is very fair.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's come back to me. And my prediction, my third prediction at the beginning of the year, you guessed it, even more AI and cybersecurity scams in 2025, from deep fakes to data breaches. I predicted it the year before, and it turned out to be very, very true. And I predicted it again this year, and take your pick, guys. Recent news, the UK government has announced to strengthen cyber attack laws because of the risk of AI and traditional cybersecurity hacking. Jaguar Land Rover, they were attacked back in October, cost them millions. The M&S cyber attack from earlier this year, their terminals were down, their M&S reward point system was in trouble. That has had many ripples and a big effect to their turnover and share price. And just news from today, day of recording, several London councils have been victim to AI and cyber attacks. Spanish flag airline carrier Iberia admits being attacked, cybersecurity attack very recently. AI scams are on a sharp rise in Malaysia, and also published in October this year, AI type cybercrime in the UK has surged, costing an estimated £100 million so far this year. So yeah, AI and cyber attacks, a match made in hell.
A cybersecurity employee making prediction about cybersecurity in 2025.
Ooh, I'm a social media employee. I'm a 40-year-old social
Some
media
may
manager.
say you've been doing lots of social listening to find out who's attacking who next. Insider trading, no points.
Wait till my automotive prediction later on.
Well, exactly. No, you're absolutely right. This one did come true. And I think, honestly, not just the fact that I got no M&S milk for about a month here in Hong Kong, it's had huge repercussions on big businesses. So there should be some sort of protection laws, I guess, if they can do that. Or companies need to up their cybersecurity, and in walks Jag's company.
Jace, give me praise.
How could you not get this one right? I mean, it's like more hacking. There's more sophisticated tools that all the hackers have now, and to use it for social engineering, and they're going to be more scams.
Do you know what? I already feel awkward and guilty that when we get to January and I make this prediction again, that you two will look at me funny, or may try and stop me from making the prediction.
I want you to predict next year when you make this. It can't be generic. You have to say the name of the company that's going to get hacked. What do you say, Jen? We have to get him more specific on something. So then we can see if he's got.
I don't know if we might get him into a bit of a trouble in case it actually happens, and then they'll be like, "How did he know?"
That's true. Or you could name 3 companies and one of them,
Or we could just not let him have this prediction again. He's already had it once, twice.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? Speaking of did he know something or not, we may as well do my other prediction as well before we move back to you guys. So that prediction was, and I alluded to before, that prediction was that a legacy non-Chinese automaker will announce a roadmap to leaving China. And in July this year, Mitsubishi, famous Japanese legacy brand, non-Chinese automaker, announced plans for a complete departure from China. And if that wasn't enough, the icing on the cake, General Motors announced this month that they have a 2-year plan to remove all its parts manufacturing and suppliers out of China. I recognize that's not a roadmap to leave, but I already won that bet with Mitsubishi. And in May this year, Nissan announced that they're shutting a second plant in China, and they're actually looking to sell 100,000 of the cars that they manufacture in China to outside of China. So it's not looking good for legacy automakers in China, with Mitsubishi already announcing that they are departing. How did I know? Who knows? But there we go. I got it, guys. 11 out of 10. 101% out of 100.
You know what's interesting is from the beginning of this year to now, how many more Chinese cars I see on the roads here in Dubai. It's insane. They're literally taking over, but it's not a surprise. I mean, how much value you get for the money on those Chinese cars here. It's like, why would you buy a legacy auto? But yeah, obviously Jackie knew.
I allegedly knew. I meet Jen about twice a year. And when I met Jen last, a few weeks ago, I was talking about this Chinese car maker, JQ, and their parent brand is Chery. And in the UK now, you can get JQ's version of the top spec Land Rover, and it is half the price. It is exactly half the price. And it looks wonderful, and it's top spec, everything inside. It's got everything that a Land Rover has. It's phenomenal. I'm super, super impressed by it. I keep saying Land Rover, and I might mean Range Rover. I always get those two mixed up. Which one is the Chelsea tractor? Is that Range Rover?
Range Rover.
Right,
Sport,
okay.
Yeah.
I knew I got it mixed up. The top spec Range Rover. No, the Land Rover, no. Not the one that the Queen would drive. You know, God rest her soul. The one that the one that the... Oh, where's this episode going? Anyway, I made my point. The one that, you know, that you see the parents that have one kid in Britain, and then they get that one, I mean, which I think is the Range Rover. The top spec one, you can get the JQ version for half price of an actual Range Rover. It's amazing. And it's electric.
So next year's prediction is countries start banning Chinese vehicles. Just to carry the trend on.
If they had open access like they have to Chinese tech in Europe and the States, if they had the same thing with cars, I think most other manufacturers would just get wiped out. Really.
Right, I was just having a quick look, and passenger vehicle exports from China were up 17% by August. So they have increased even more before the end of the year. And NEV exports jumped 90% over the same period. So the export numbers coming out of China are humongous. Well done, Jag. 1 point to you.
Huh.
Yeah, I think you deserve one.
What? Yeah. Right. Let's move on, guys. Let's tally up your amazing predictions for the remainder now. So
I've kept a tally. Do you want me to read you the numbers?
No. It's good. It's good. I got my own tally. Don't worry.
I've had one more prediction.
You did.
I was talking about the domino effect that would occur post X coming out with community notes and then Meta kind of following. And I was saying that platforms like YouTube and Reddit will kind of follow suit. And I think that came partially true. There was a clear domino effect, but I think I was wrong, especially with Reddit, because they've had no real change in what they've been doing in terms of moderation. They still leave it up to the community itself. However, YouTube, they have come out with some kind of notes that users can put on videos, but it's not been like a total community notes type thing like I was talking about. So I would say I was partially right on that one.
Yeah, I mean, partially is being friendly. And I'm on your side here. It'd be, Yeah,
but the thing that was true is that they've gone away from human moderation to a lot more kind of AI, because TikTok, they've now, I think 85% of posts that were human moderated have now gone to AI this year. So, hey, that's kind of, give me an extra point for that.
All right. Well, I'll go half marks. What do you reckon, Jen?
5 points.
Out of 10. Right, I think those are all our predictions, guys. So I got like 10, 10, 10, 10. And then Jace got a couple of 5s. And Jen got what I got when I learned how to swim, which was a certificate of attendance. So
I'll take that. It's more than I thought I'd get.
Yeah, I guess I won it again this year, guys. It's getting easy for me. It's getting easy 2 years in a row.
Can I just say, it has been an incredible year in terms of how things have changed in the social and tech space. Like, yeah, we made these predictions, but, the amount of platforms that are now out there that people are using on a daily basis with AI, like you say, like enterprise level, there's not a day goes by where I suspect people, you guys especially, but people don't use AI, and how tech hasn't changed. So as much of a joke as my predictions are, I think it's been a super interesting year to see how fast things have moved. And I'm super excited about it. If it keeps going the way it's going, there's going to be all sorts we can do next year. With that said, I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks figuring out what's actually going to happen next year so I can make better predictions.
Yes, I agree, Jen, completely. Like, when I look back to just 2 years ago, I wasn't using AI in work. Whereas now, 2 years later, I use it daily. And the tools that I sometimes dabble in for work just to help demonstrate something. For example, just yesterday, I made a mock-up using Canva. Canva Pro has quite a few AI tools built in, and it just helped me make the mock-up that I needed to make in minutes, whereas in the past, it would have taken still minutes, but several more minutes. So yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Have you seen the new Nano Banana in Gemini 3? The stuff it can do with text now is amazing. And, whether it's coming up with YouTube thumbnails or like editing things like you were talking about in Canva, it's like such a step ahead. And like the things that I've been able to do with that in just in the last few days is just like, it's literally changed my whole workflow. I mean, and like you said, Jen, it's just accelerating in terms of the new features that are coming out, and like how much more I'm becoming reliant on it. It's a little bit scary. And also one point is that everyone who uses Google pretty much now is now getting access to those AI overviews. And because there's the button at the bottom now that says dive deeper with AI now, it's like forcing so many more people just to click and then have a conversation about what they're looking for with Google. So like people are just being pulled into this. And now if you've seen recently in the Google stock price, it's like factoring in, you know, at one point Google became the underdog and OpenAI was the leader. And now it seems like Google have just like come to number one. Interesting.
Yeah, very exciting, really exciting. And yeah, we get to do it all again next year, guys. We get to do it all again next year together. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jason. We've had another wonderful year together on Disconnected. And yeah, here's to us three plus the others in 2026. And you know what, listeners? We'll see you in January. Hopefully we'll be doing more predictions then, bigger and better. I need more competition. Thank you for being part of Disconnected in 2025, and we'll see you next year.